Welcome back. The time is 8:34, and you're still tuned in to News and Views with myself, Salailo Makwidiri, on your Ramadan companion, Salam Media, your home of humanitarian journalism. And I think that last interview was a bit much to take in, man. Just hearing directly from what is currently happening in Palestine, and the lives that are being lost firsthand, not from a news article, not from analysts and spectators from a distance, but from someone that's actually there. It's really eye opening, and it puts a lot into perspective. But we're going to move on to another story that I think demands a lot of attention as millions of Muslims around the world observe Ramadan, a time for fasting, prayer, and spiritual reflection. There's one place where the sacred traditions of Ramadan are essentially criminalized. Xinjiang, the homeland of the Uyghur people in China's so called autonomous region, Uyghur Muslims are not just denied their religious freedom, they're subjected to an ongoing genocide. Under the Chinese Communist Party, there are specific rules that can be described as just human rights violation. Under the Chinese Communist Party rule, fasting during Ramadan has been outlawed. Uyghurs are forced to eat in public, record videos proving that they are not fasting, and are subjected to constant surveillance. Mosques have been destroyed. Islamic practices labeled as extremism, and entire families have vanished into China's vast network of concentration camps. Meanwhile, the recent forced deportation of Uyghurs from Thailand echoes a disturbing pattern where the Chinese government extends its repression beyond its borders, silencing Uyghur voices worldwide. So today, as Muslims worldwide, continue their fast and will be breaking their fast in peace, we ask, what is being done to stop the erasure of Uyghur identity? And how can the global Muslim community respond to this humanitarian crisis? And also, why has the world largely remained silent in the face of such clear atrocities? Joining us now is Dolkun Isa, the president of the World Uyghur Congress and a leading voice in the fight for Uyghur human rights. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Isa. I hope that you're doing well, and Jazakallah so much for being with us today.
Good morning, wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for having me, brother. Yeah.
And the pleasure is all ours. I think we can kickstart the conversation with, what's the latest that you're gathering right now regarding the story that we're covering, regarding the continued repression of the Uyghur Muslims this time of the year. I think every year, especially during the time of Ramadan, the persecution seems to intensify. Can you give us an overview of how Uyghur Muslims are being targeted during this holy month?
Sure, yeah. As you said, now is still the Chinese government is persecution and against the Uyghurs and the Kazakh other Muslim in we call it Turkestan, China is a Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous region is ongoing, and this doesn't holy Ramadan time in the entire Muslim world with the peacefully can fasting, but it's Uyghur Muslim is exception. There is no possibility to Uyghur have a fasting and the Tarawih namaz and the praying. It is impossible. It is not new. Of course, is that this rule starting from 2014. Current President Xi Jinping took the power to end of 2013. Then after he got to his power, he started immediately very, very is strongly measure against Islam. So that's why step by step, 2014, 2015, normally is during the Ramadan, holy Ramadan time, Uyghurs close the restaurant just to open the iftar time. But Chinese government and the order 2015 saying this restaurant must be open daily days and should be sold cigarette and alcohol, alcohol
Mm.
under and remove the sign of the halal. If any restaurant close in the daily time and also not sell and the service for the alcohol, then close and the punish. This was happening starting 10 years ago, but no, it is situation is horrible, horrible. and millions of people in the concentration camp. Not only problem is the people is who stay in concentration camp. It is normal life also, crying and fasting.
mm,
Normally Chinese government doesn't care. Do you have a food or something eat? But during the Ramadan time, particularly, Chinese Communist Party just check the people who, because some people also secretly hiding the fasting, saying if you ask someone, "Are you fasting?" No, no, I'm not fasting. So that's why during the lunch time, serve the lunch to employer and provide water, lunch, force you to eat, check you, are you really fasting or not? This is the situation, unfortunately, today. And all mosques is closed, closed only. Sometimes Chinese government organize some propaganda tour, invite some Muslim countries, Muslim delegation, diplomats, and journalists to the region. And that day, Chinese government opened the mosque and forced people to bring the mosque and the praying. People confuse them. Oh no, 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 we don't praying because of people who praying, because of the praying, because of the read Quran. This is a good enough reason to put the concentration camp. So that's why people scared to go. And the mosque, no, no, you don't go. No, no, today you must go. Today you have to make
mm.
tarawih. And say, people say, no, and government say, no, no, today you have to, this is the obligation. So only foreign diplomats and journalists and the world, this day is the mosque is open and full, and the rest day, if you go next day, is the mosque is closed. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. One thing that really jumped at me, while I was busy doing research on this, is reports that indicate that Uyghurs must record video proof of themselves eating to prove that they are not fasting. How true are these reports? And have you had word from some of the Muslims who tell you that actually the government has surveillance them to that point that they should be sending video footage of themselves eating to show that they're not practicing their religious rights and their religious traditions.
Yes, this is because there's no choice. If you cannot call yourself, you cannot identify yourself. I'm Muslim because being Muslim is a
Mm,
criminal because of the Muslim, because of the ethnicity, because of religion. And we were people in the concentration camp suffering. Even on the street or any place. If you today travel in Turkestan, if you meet the people, salam alaikum, the people cannot answer is wa alaikum salam. You know, this is even salam alaikum is the forbidden as well. And some YouTuber recently also published something in the visiting the Uyghurs and from Turkey was some Muslim country. Some YouTubers said salam alaikum. People just silence. Actually, this is salam alaikum wa alaikum assalam. This is the tradition, thousand years from the Uyghur. Even that believer, not believer, even you and the people cannot answer wa alaikum assalam or salam alaikum. It is forbidden to use any religious and related words. It is a problem. So that's why it is, of course, people are scared because since 2017, Chinese government, 2016, built concentration camp, and China so eradication. It is not eradication. Is and indoctrinate. Indoctrinate. You have to denounce your religion. You have to denounce your ethnicity. This is the main purpose of the concentration camp. Some people were released after they really and because Chinese government already started, Islam should be compatible Chinese party. Synchronization. Islam
mm,
universal. Islam is the same as Beijing. Islam is the same as South Africa. Islam is the same as Saudi Arabia globally. Quran only one. But Chinese government even change the Quran, Holy Quran.
mm,
1980s, first time is Quran translated into Uyghur language. But since 2016 or 2015, Chinese government re-translated the Quran into Uyghur. A lot of Surah, Fatih is all it will change it. Yeah.
mm, mm, mm. Now, that's really quite concerning. And what's really
Yes.
concerning again is, despite the overwhelming evidence of, these mass detentions, the forced labor, and just the systematic persecution of Uyghur Muslims, why are global powers, including Muslim majority nations, have been largely silent on China's treatment of the Uyghurs?
Yeah, this is the big shame. This is the big problem we are doing now. I'm in Geneva. I'm attending 58th session of the Human Rights Council session. Yesterday I spoken at the UN Human Rights Council, and some countries diplomat was there, Chinese diplomat was there. I mean, speaking Chinese diplomat, and they raise a hand after the I speaking, and they trying to deny my old speaking. I say, okay, you deny it all the time. I'm talking since 7, 8 years. My mother died concentration camp. And as is Chinese diplomat saying, oh, because is there some terrorist attack what's happening? So that's why we are fighting terrorism radicals. I said, hey, my older brother, just 2 weeks ago, Radio Free Asia confirmed he sentenced 20 years. He was sentenced 2017. Up to 8 years later, I got this news from Radio Free Asia. He sentenced 20 years. My brother is a professor, mathematics professor. He's a terrorist. My mother died concentration camp 2018, 78 years old. She's a housewife. She's a terrorist. Violence happening someplace because there is no freedom, free expression. There is no way because injustice, arresting, killing happening every day. So that's why sometimes and the revenge feeling people can do some violence, but because there is no way, because of the reason you. But this is where explain everything. And repeatedly talking the solution is the Human Rights Council, United Nations, different the country internationally. But as you say, Muslim majority country is a silence. Most of the time, only not silence. Sometimes with China together. Unfortunately, today China start against Islam, start a war against Islam. As you say, is Quran forbidden? Is right forbidden. 8,000 the mosque was completely destroyed. It is ASPI, Australian Strategic Institute public report 2021. They have collected all evidence with the satellite image, everything. And this is the reality, but Muslim country continue silence. There is two reasons why. Because Muslim countries have also open human rights violation. So that's why cooperation with China, most important thing, economic benefit. They don't afraid from the Allah. They just afraid Chinese Communist Party. They afraid the money. Chinese marketing. So this is the reason Muslim country and the silence, and not silence, and the complicity and the support with Chinese policy, and the King Salman and the Mohammed Princess Xi visiting to China, saying, "Oh, we support Chinese government and fighting against the terrorism and the radicalism." Hey, there is 3 million Uyghurs not terrorists because of the terrorist activism. They are in the concentration camp because they are staying in the concentration camp because they are Muslim, because of the belief, religions, because of the ethnicity. But it was the reality. Even ICO, also Islamic Cooperation Organization, also made a statement time to time, and this is the Chinese side. Yeah, this is really shame. This is the and the complicity of the Chinese Communist Party.
And another story that caught the headlines a past couple of weeks ago is the 40 Uyghur Muslims that were deported from Thailand back to China, and currently their whereabouts of most of them are unknown. How significant is this case, and what does it signal about China's global reach in suppressing Uyghur voices?
Yeah, it is Chinese. Yeah, you said, and the 27th of February, just 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, 40 Uyghur refugees and deported from Thailand, handed over from Thailand to China. After Xi Jinping and came to the power 2014, he started 1 year straight hard campaign. Then 100,000 Uyghur and escaped from East Turkestan to some neighboring country. 2014, around 300 to Vietnam, through Vietnam to Thailand. Then that time, this 400 Uyghurs is arrested by border. Among them, 170 settled down to Turkey, and 109 Uyghurs deported from Thailand to China.
Mm.
2015, 10 years ago. Then only around 50 Uyghurs and staying in the Thailand detention center since 2014. 11 years. They are staying 11 years in detention centers. Their crime only illegal across the border. Since the 10 years, at least 5 Uyghurs is died in the custody, in Thailand custody. Condition is very bad, you know. Yes.
Mm.
And the Muslim is the sometimes Thai government also not provide is halal food and also not medicament, no medicine. And because of the health problems they died, even including some children. So this time, and despite also huge international pressure from European country, European Parliament, United States, Canada, yes, and some countries, and in this Thailand sold since 40 Uyghur to China, and the Thai Prime Minister visiting China, and she's saying my half blood of his blood, you know. This is a signal. Then 2 weeks later, and the extradition to 40 people. This is not the first time. 2015, 109 people deported. No news. 10 years ago, 109 people deported. Still, we have no news. They are still alive or sentenced. Where we don't know. We don't know. This time is happening again. Of course. And 13th of March, because of this, I was in Strasbourg, European Parliament. European Parliament passed urgent resolution condemning Thailand this action, and also yes, some international organization also condemning this. Some democratic country, the European country, also made statement condemning this. But Thai government saying, "Oh, Chinese government promised us they will well treat to them, don't and punish them. We are observed for this." This is lie. Chinese government just maybe 1-2 family. Thai authority will visit our international observer visiting just able to talk one or two, and the rest of them no news still. Yeah, this is and this was the first time happening. All different countries so far is deportation and hand over huge number of refugees to China.
I think we're going to leave it on that note, Dolkun. Thank you so much for giving us your time and for shedding light on the struggles of the Uyghur Muslims, particularly during Ramadan.
Thank you very much.
There you go. That was Dolkun Isa, the president of the World Uyghur Congress, and it was just shedding light on what's currently happening to the Uyghur Muslims. And we all know the struggles that they're facing, but it almost feels like the world is not giving it the attention that it deserves. There's been hashtag Ramadan under occupation, with the focus being on the Chinese Uyghur Muslims. Really interesting and concerning conversation to be having and to be listening to. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, News and Views continues.